Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Well, hello and welcome, everyone. I hope you're all faring well. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your host, and I am delighted for you to tune in on the Voice America Empowerment Channel to shine and love light into your hearts and homes to empower your life with love. And special greetings as we celebrate Earth Day today. The earth is where we all meet as one, and as Henry David Thoreau quotes, live in each season, breathe the air, drink the drink, taste the fruit, and resign yourself to the influence of the earth. So let's bless the earth and be grateful for our bountiful gifts. And we have a very great show today, befitting for Earth Day. Step into the flow of inner calm and clarity with Holly Copeland. So many people are caught up in the trap of their own mind, and inner clarity and calm are much more closer than you think. So how can we experience a heartfelt way of living? How can we step out of the conceptual mind into a different way of knowing? How can we live in flow with unbound clarity, ease, and joy? And our amazing guest, Holly Copeland, will show us simple and effective ways to step out of the fog of the mind and into the flow of life. Holly, founder of HeartMind Alchemy, uniting ancient wisdom and modern science, is a former conservation scientist turned certified human potential coach, NeuroMeditation teacher, sound healer, and Reiki master. Holly harnesses modern technology to empower others on their path to human flourishing and upgrading from ordinary mind to luminous awareness, and she guides people out of the muddy waters of the thinking mind to live in flow joyfully and effortlessly from their own inner compass, their own stable ground of being. And Holly stands on the three pillars: awaken to your true nature, heal with sound and vibration, and breathe with love. And on that note, I now welcome Holly to our show. Welcome, Holly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jean. I'm just really delighted to be here, and welcome to all your listeners. Just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I know you're coming off of a travel venture, and I thank you so much for taking the time to be here today on our show. And Holly, I know, we're all, dealing with this sense of lack of calmness and lack of awareness. Tell us more about you and your inspirational journey. How did you get to this point?
Yeah, thank you. I would love to tell a little of my story. And it is as you said, Earth Day today. And so I really resonate with that as a 25-year conservation scientist working first for the Nature Conservancy and then the University of Wyoming. I really dedicated my life to the environment and the planet. So that resonates so strongly with me, and hence I just want to honor that blessing and spirit of the earth.
Yes.
Yeah, and so my journey about 4 or 5 years ago, I really fell into a place of despair for the planet. It felt to me like no matter where I turned, there was a problem, an environmental problem, humanity suffering, plants and animals suffering, and it was really it had burnt me out and was wearing me down. And I felt like, is this what I'm supposed to do? This doing my part each day. And somehow I'd been doing that for 25 years, and it just felt like there had to be a better way. Because I knew that, in my lifetime, I was unlikely to see, rainbows and unicorns and everything perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was a journey on how to learn to be differently so that I could be with a world that was suffering. And when I look at it now, it feels like this mythical hero's journey of Joseph Campbell, this epic story of how do we reclaim our own inner being so we can be the heroes of our own story and the heroes that the world needs.
Beautiful.
How do we do that for ourselves? And this is essentially, to me, what this path is and what I'm helping others do to reclaim that. And so I ended up leaving the Nature Conservancy and, excuse me, I'm going to close my window to the barking dog. I ended up leaving the Nature Conservancy and stepping away from that and went on a path to become a coach. But it didn't all happen at once. It was like a slow petering out. And I actually became a coach. I did a lot of soul searching. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And I really just said to Spirit, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You show me. And that memo from Spirit came in the form of, I was out for a run one day and I was listening to a podcast, and there was somebody on there talking about how he had been a Hollywood designer and he left all that to become a coach. And this voice just came in and said, do that. And I honestly had never thought about being a coach up until then, but it was so strong that I came back and talked to my husband, and 3 weeks later I was enrolled in a coaching program. And so, I tell that story because, if we give over, if we don't know what to do, I think the best thing to do is to take a pause, to go inward, ask for guidance and support from whomever, you speaks to you, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's God or Spirit or the earth or light, and just trust that there is a higher purpose for all of us, that there is a deep inner knowing and wisdom that we all have that we can all tap into.
Wow, that is beautiful. And I love your story. And I think it's divine timing for you to be here today, on Earth Day. I thought about that and I was like, gosh, how did we, this is divine. And with your training and your work, it's so appropriate. And thank you, Holly, for sharing that point about hero's journey. I can kind of attest to that from my own journey, how you're kind of trained in a certain field and, you get to a point. I spent 28 years in academia, and you get to that point where, wait a minute, something is just not working here, and then you end up on a different path and you find your way back home. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And it's amazing because I'm sure like you, I thought at a time that I'd be a career scientist. I thought that's, I did all the schooling and I worked hard and I had the job with the salary and the benefits. And, at the time, people kind of thought I was crazy. Like, why would you leave such a good job?
Yeah. And
I just followed that deep inner knowing inside that something wasn't right and I was meant to do something else.
Yeah, how we can use our skills, because we go through a lot to be trained in our fields, and then we get to the point and I'm like, what is this all about? And then you, through the divine guidance and divine timing and listening to your intuitive voice, you're pointed in the right way. And thank you so much for sharing that. And for listeners who are in that, mode now, there are answers, and our heart will show us the way that you're going to tell us more about. And Holly, we've been ingrained and trained to be thinkers and doers. Does it take a long time to move beyond this state?
Yeah, we have been trained to be thinkers and doers. In fact, I would argue our whole school system and education system is set up for that.
Yes.
How do we all become productive citizens? And I heard somebody talk about it like internal capitalism.
Oh gosh, that's something.
Right? It's like there's this internal capitalism that we're kind of programmed into. And to me, the way is to actually, I don't think that's a very good program, to be honest.
Well, we've walked that journey, right? You've been in academia and I have. We've been trained in our fields. We've walked that path.
Yep. And it's, for some people, it's the right and perfect path. But the I think the invitation is to look at, are you living in joy? Are you living in harmony with your inner purpose and guidance? Are you waking up each day really feeling fulfilled and joyful and happy? Because if you're not, then I think the invitation is to look at that unhappiness, and to know that, to me, happiness is our birthright. It's our true nature. Yes. And to go within and give yourself honor yourself and give yourself the space and the time to really listen to what you were meant for.
Yeah, trusting that divine guidance. I remember when I was leaving academia, and one of my colleagues said to me frantically, "What are you going to do? Who are you going to be?" And I was like, "Oh, God, get it together." I said, "I am going to be more of who I truly am." And, to get to that place where it's like, I don't know where I'm going, but, I'm destined to just do this now, because I felt like I had outgrown that, or it didn't fit after I had a transformational, experience and a journey, and it just wasn't the same. The competition, the stress,
Totally. And I love that, what you said about being more of who you are, because I think this is a path of really seeking who you really are deep inside, and then allowing the universe, allowing, spirit divine to flow through you to be all of what you were meant to be, not just some tiny little piece of it, Yes,
yes, yes. And as we talk about this inner GPS and how we can connect, how can inner calm and clarity help us reach our highest potential?
Yeah, I mean, it helps us reach our highest potential because it helps us actually be able to hear that inner truth. We have to, it's like we have to be able to tune the radio. I call it to Divine FM.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to use that. Divine FM. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and if you're in between stations, or, there's too much noise, you can't hear it coming through.
Yes, yes, yes.
But we don't really teach children how to tune in to Divine FM.
I love what you said, because I know when I'm off the channel. I know when I'm off, and it's like, okay, get back up, get your vibration, get back in tune, Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I know you use NeuroMeditation and tuning forks and all of that. Can you just tell us, what is that all about?
Yeah. So, we are vibrational beings living in a vibrational universe. We have electric bodies. And Eileen McCusick, that I studied under, talks about this so beautifully. And this really hit home for me with tuning forks. So we start to see ourselves as energetic vibrational beings. And, then we can start to we can see everything as vibrational, from the thoughts we think to the, food we eat, to our actions and what we say and do. And when we start to tune into the vibrational nature, and we can use tools like tuning forks to help us retune into the resonant frequencies, the frequencies that our body naturally wants to be at, the blueprint, I call it, like that you actually have, that gets layered by all these, thoughts and traumas and disappointments along the way. So that's one of the real shifts for me in this transformation, was to start to think of myself as a vibrational being and in a vibrational body, and start to work with tools like tuning forks. And there's others, sound gongs and crystal baths and other, crystal bowls and other tools, many out there, chanting, mantra, and even meditation, different forms of meditation itself helps us tune in to our own vibrational nature. And so it's a rich path with lots of different tools. Tuning forks happen to speak to me as a musician, and they're simple and easy to use, and anybody can, they're not super expensive. So they're a wonderful place to start really working with your body as a vibrational being.
And Holly, you talk about rewiring your brain for inner calm and clarity. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when I started on my journey, I had a pretty thick monkey mind. Being schooled in academia, I was really just used to always, judging everything as right and wrong, analyzing everything. And that path of rewiring for inner calm and clarity for me was a path of going deep into meditation. And I actually started down my path using a meditation device called the Muse. It's a headband that allows you to hear your brain waves in real time.
Wow.
So, yeah. And so you can get feedback and hear, do I have a busy mind, in which case you hear a lot of rain, or do I have a calm, quiet mind, in which case the rain subsides? And so it gives you, so you start to understand, what does a quiet mind even feel like? And I found that incredibly empowering and helpful in my first parts of my journey in meditation.
Is it like biofeedback? It's like you can self-regulate when you're off track or you're hearing all this noise. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's totally amazing. It's a fabulous, fabulous tool. And then once, to me, the tools are great. And then once you know how to access that quiet mind, then you can practice it without the tools. And just practice, breath work or breathing up through the spine or, various types of meditation. I think I'm going to do a little meditation in a little bit, and we can talk about that too.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. And Holly, I know there's so much information available at that spiritual vibrational level because we're taught to kind of look at just the material plane, the material world. Right. And not the information is not available, just a certain small percentage is available at that material world. What about that before we move to break? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely. So, when we're caught in the conceptual mind, we're really operating at just the coarsest level of mind. Mm-hmm. And so part of the beauty of learning to quiet your mind is you start to access those subtle realms of energetic realms, which are filled with much more bliss and joy and ease. It's really, to me, about living a life of ease. And how do we step into that?
Yes. Well, it's time for a brief commercial break, so stay tuned for more with our amazing guest, Holly Copeland, HeartMind Alchemy, certified human potential coach, NeuroMeditation teacher, vibrational sound healing practitioner. On our show today, step into the flow of inner calm and clarity. And as Holly stated, tune in to Divine, FM? So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations, is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling authors international, news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com. Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're all in this together. Embrace one another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today. Ascension expert Judy Satori's Ascension Library will activate your true soul and human potential. Access a selection of audio-based meditations, energy transmissions, and live-streamed video events. Transform your reality with popular programs such as the transcripts of Mary Magdalene for heart-opening, beautiful, to radiate your inner beauty, and the body balancing and physical regeneration pathway to become more energized. Ignite your spark and live a life of passion and purpose. Explore membership options to activate a 5-day free trial. Visit ascensionlibrary.org.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. If you're just joining us, we are with our amazing guest, Holly Copeland. She's showing us how to step into the flow of inner calm and clarity. She is a certified human potential coach, NeuroMeditation teacher, vibrational sound healing practitioner, and she's helping us tune in to divine FMS. So thank you, Holly, for being here today. As we said, divine timing for Earth Day. And with your amazing training and gifts, you're going to be taking us through a meditation experience shortly. But there's one question I'd like to ask you. What is your concept of the awakened mind? And how can we upgrade from ordinary to the awakened mind?
Yeah. Thank you. I love that question. So I'm really excited to address it. So I call ordinary mind this place where we're fused to our thoughts and our emotions. So this is the place that most of us, and I definitely was in for most of my life, where we look out at the world and we kind of feel, it sort of feels like you're looking out from behind your eyes, maybe. Your awareness is kind of there. And, you know, as your eyes rest on different things, your attention goes out to all of the things that you're viewing. Like all those things are like objects in our reality. And your attention sort of jumps around from one to the other to the other. Maybe you look at the floor and you think, oh, that needs to be vacuumed, and oh, that bed needs to be made. And,
yeah.
And there's just kind of this constant dialogue of things that need to be done, and this mind that sort of has no place to rest, right?
Good way to put it. You're right.
There's just nowhere to rest, and there's always something to do,
Yes.
you know? And that's the ordinary mind. And that's not a very calm or restful place to live from.
No,
right?
no. And we think that that's it, that this is life, you know, and we're stuck with it, right?
Exactly. We feel very stuck because how am I possibly going to rest? You know, and in that world, the only way we rest is we finally get the house clean, we finally do, you know, the dishes, and everybody gets food, and then maybe we get, 30 minutes to read a book or watch TV, and we finally kind of go, oh, I can rest, right? And that's like my quote-unquote joy for the end of the day. And what all the sages and great spiritual teachers were talking about was a way of living that is not that. But in their lives too, there's always stuff to be done because we're human beings. So we have bodies that need to be fed and cleaned and, life. So this is really the awakened mind is actually finding a state of grace of living where all these things are still happening, but we're operating from a different operating system. It's like an upgraded operating system from, the OS that you're probably currently running. Most people.
Wow, I love that because when you were talking about that, I know I used to feel like I was on this treadmill. Getting up, doing the same routine, then starting it over. Little time to and it's like, wait a minute, is this it? It has to be more to life than just this treadmill. Right.
Exactly. And I felt the same way, Jean Marie. I absolutely was like, that was my reckoning moment too, when I really finally said, I've got to quit because this can't be it. And so I want to give everybody that's listening actually a taste of awakened mind right now. I want you to, because it's always available. This isn't something we have to go live in a cave for 10 years and meditate so that we can access awakened mind. And the brilliant teachers that I've studied with, teachers like Rupert Spira and Locke Kelly, who bring traditions from Tibet and from India, come together and show us this, what's called direct awakening path. Okay. And so what they're pointing to is that is something else I'm going to introduce is this idea of finding the ground of your being. This is the place we can rest. So
we're ready.
We want to be in the ground of our being. We want to operate from there. So just notice right now, as listeners, I invite you to just notice the normal way of your eyes go out and they rest on something. Mine's resting on a pillow on my bed. And that pillow has objects. It has shape and a size. So whatever you're looking at has bed edges and boundaries. It has a shape, right? It's an object. And something is aware of that object. So turn your attention around away from the object you're viewing back to the awareness of that object. And notice that unlike the object that your eyes are viewing, when you turn around to the knower, the knowing of the object itself, that the knowing itself is actually open and has no boundaries. And so you might, as you're listening to this, close your eyes just so you can feel this without the distraction of looking. So feel inward to the knowing of your being. And this knowing, just notice, can you find any edge or boundary to it? So you might take your awareness out to the right, take it out to the left, take it up and down. And just see for yourself, can you actually find an edge to the knowing of being, a knowing of the object? And I'll ask you, Jean Marie, what's your experience as you do this? Can you find an edge?
Well, actually, I was viewing a beautiful flower. And I think for me, it's like as you took us through that meditation, as you're taking us through, I just feel just boundless, I feel infinite, it's like no end. It's like there's no limit,
Exactly.
It's far reaching,
it's
far knowing, and the beauty is endless as I have this flower, this beautiful flower in my mind's eye.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so that's perfect. So awareness itself is boundless. It has no edges. So feel this, it has no boundary in space, okay? And then now notice, does your awareness come and go in time? So the flower, if you were to sit here and look at it, eventually it would die and rot and, fall down. It doesn't exist infinitely, right? But notice the awareness, does it have a quality of time to it? Does it come and go, or is it omnipresent, always here? Could it ever leave you?
It's omnipresent.
Right.
Omnipresent.
It's omnipresent. It has no time. It's timeless, right?
Yes.
So it's very different than an object. An object comes and goes. Whether it's a thought, even notice this, like a thought can rise up, like what you had for breakfast, but it won't stay. Eventually the thought will go away. But awareness stays. It can't go, right? So we've identified two really key properties of awareness. Our awareness is boundless and it's timeless.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So then we're going to bring a third quality, which is, does awareness have any opinions about the flower? So it looks at the flower and it's aware of it, but is awareness judging the flower, or is awareness just seeing the flower and it's just knows that it's there?
You know, when I think about that, it's like the thinking mind, I'm looking at maybe the decay of the leaves that are not so, looking at the material aspects. But, when you move into this awareness, it's a whole different level of gratitude and appreciation, for the beauty that is. Yeah,
there's a sense of positivity with awareness. There's this, this knowing of our being has the sages call it like the light of knowing.
Yes.
Right? It's not like the judging mind that might say good flower, bad flower. It's different, right?
Right.
It's like an inner light quality.
Yes.
And so this that we're pointing to, and it's not an object, awareness that's timeless and boundless and equanimous, which is the word in meditative word for it can be with whatever's here, right? And if we were to think about the qualities of that, is that not what unconditional love is? The ability to just be with whatever's here without judging it, right?
Wow, I love that. Yes, right? Because we're in this critical judgmental mind for everything. And if we can, you're showing us how to move out of that space, right?
Right.
Be with what, I love that. Go ahead.
Be with what is. It could be it ultimately, awareness itself, which is the ground of our being, right? It's knowing everything that's here. You can't go back any further. It's the foundation. It's the essence of who we are. And the essence of who we are is boundless, timeless, and unconditionally loving. And that's true for every single one of us.
And Holly, as we talk about the oneness, being one with nature, being one with, others, it takes it to a different level. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I love that you brought that, because here's the next pointing, and it ties right into what we're doing. Okay. So imagine that the Buddha and Hitler were sitting right in front of us. Okay? Would the Buddha and the Hitler have the same awareness that you and I have, or was it some kind of a different awareness?
Well, if I look at the reality of it, I see it differently. But when you take it to a higher level, it's like, well, we're all, connected. We're all having this life experience. We're all on our journeys, but love binds us all. I'd love to hear your take on this.
Yeah. And so my take is that of course, the form, the emanation that Hitler sent into the world was, abhorrent. But actually, the essential being that he was, his awareness was no different from yours or mine or the Buddha's.
That's that oneness.
That's the oneness. The oneness is we all share the same being.
Yes.
That's the meaning of oneness. There aren't 7 billion different awarenesses in the world. There's just one, and each of us is like an emanation of that. We're our own unique expression That's the expressive part of who we are. But we're tied together by this oneness, that you and I have the same oneness.
Yes.
And so does everyone listening, and so do all 7 billion people.
Yes.
And that's the fundamental wholeness that underlies everything.
Yes, I just love that. Many people are caught up into this lack of self-love and feeling unworthy. Yeah. Can you shed a little light on that before we go to break? Because this is so important. Hearts are closed as a result of fear and life circumstances, and this affects us in our daily life. So how can we move from this lack of self-love and unworthiness, not good enough?
Right. And so, absolutely. We're in chronic unworthiness and pain because we have no ground of being. You haven't sunk back to find your own knowing of your own being as love. Yeah. And so the pain is actually pointing to the pain and the hurt of unworthiness is pointing to being lost in Maya, being lost in the things, the objects, and not the knowing of your own true being. So trace your way back into your heart to feel the ground of your being as love.
Yes. I love that. And you're going to take us through another exercise when we come back, another meditation. But I think now it's time for a brief commercial break. So don't go away. We will be right back with more on Step into the Flow of Inner Calm and Clarity with our amazing guest, Holly Copeland, HeartMind Alchemy, certified human potential coach, NeuroMeditation teacher, vibrational sound healing practitioner. Stay tuned. We will be right back to tune in to our Divine FMS.
Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book. We're all in this together. Embrace one another. An anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're all in this together. Embrace one another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Ascension expert Judy Satori's Ascension Library will activate your true soul and human potential. Access a selection of audio-based meditations, energy transmissions, and live-streamed video events. Transform your reality with popular programs such as the transcripts of Mary Magdalene for heart-opening, beautiful, to radiate your inner beauty, and the body balancing and physical regeneration pathway to become more energized. Ignite your spark and live a life of passion and purpose. Explore membership options to activate a 5-day free trial. Visit ascensionlibrary.org. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today. Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth. altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling authors international, news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to Love Light, living in the spirit of love. And if you're just joining us, we are with our amazing guest, Holly Copeland. She's on our show today, Step into the Flow of Inner Calm and Clarity, and we need that. Holly is a certified human potential coach, vibrational sound healing practitioner, NeuroMeditation teacher, so much more, and we are just delighted to have her on our show today, and especially for Earth Day. And Holly, you took us through a beautiful meditation to really help us become more aware. And I know during commercial break, you were talking about a driving experience that you have. Can you just share that as a just everyday thing that we go through in our regular day where we can't find the rest that we need?
Yeah. So what I was sharing, everybody, is that this idea of not being able to rest and how exhausting that is. And I was on a long car ride, and I had this aha that my mind was jumping around to all the objects that I was viewing, you know, the cows and the fence and all that. And I was like, where am I supposed to rest? How am I supposed to actually just let my mind rest with all these things going on? And it was a real aha. I didn't have an answer at the time because this was before I'd done all this work, but it was the aha of realizing that the mind is kind of constantly jumping from all these objects and doesn't know how to rest back into itself. And and so, you know, this, if you feel this way and you're listening and you just sort of recognize, oh, right, the reason I'm so exhausted all the time is that my mind, it's the attentional system in the human body just constantly scanning. I think we're probably biologically adapted to just scan the environment for danger and just, you know, what are we supposed to do next? What are we supposed to do next? That's why we're so exhausted.
Yes. You know, and I think, Holly, it's so essential for us to pause and do some self-reflection. I ask myself a lot of questions, you know, the self-reflection. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? Right?
Absolutely. And that pause question allows you to go back inside and kind of feel back into the essence of your own being. I will say that for me, self-mastery is really learning to find this ground of being. Because we aren't going to stop. All the things in the environment are still going to be there. We're still going to have, as I said earlier, we're still going to have all the things to do. So true self-mastery that the sages were talking about is that you find this essential ground of being that I pointed to earlier of awareness, and you learn to rest back or sink into that. And so it's like you have one eye on the inside all the time, that you're, notice that you can be with, whatever you're looking at right now, but you can actually have your attention turned inwards on your body, even as your eyes are going out, right?
Yes.
And so you can similarly have your attention in awareness itself, sort of just resting back into awareness. And this may seem a little unnatural at first or difficult. But you, through, the meditations that I lead and many other teachers that point to awareness, you can practice this until it becomes your waking state, your daily state of where you're living from, that you always are. It's like you're always resting on the inside. How nice does that sound?
That's wonderful. I call it your natural state of being, because as I practice, it's like I know when I'm off and I know what's required to get back on track. And as you talk about, going inward, what are the alternatives if we do not? A life of confusion, burnout, right?
Totally. Yes, that's where that all comes from, is just a life of dissatisfaction, non-contentment, not being happy. All of those are the product of being caught up in the confusion of the outside world and not knowing our own place of rest and wholeness.
Yes. And you have another exercise you're going to take us through? We can't wait.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to do that. So I just invite everybody now to just close your eyes, unless you're driving, and just sink back into your own being, and just just take a minute, feel your feet on the floor, feel the weight of the feet on the floor, feel into your sit bones and feel the weight of your sit bones. So just allow yourself to feel the soft animal of your own being, connecting to the earth, allowing yourself to bring some kindness and compassion to yourself. I invite you to take a few deep breaths into your belly. Feel the animating force of life moving through you. And just allow your awareness to drop down from behind your eyes, the thinking mind. Allow it to come down through your neck. So you're knowing your neck from within your neck. Through your shoulders. So you're feeling and sensing and knowing your shoulders from within your shoulders. And down into your heart. So you're feeling and sensing your heart from within your heart. And then let your awareness expand out into the room. So you're aware of the room that you're in, space in the room. And what's it like to be aware, not of the space, but from the space? And what's it like to notice, be aware from space and aware of your body at the same time? And what's it like to be aware behind your back? So you're aware of the space behind your back. So you've really expanded your awareness. And as we did before, notice there's no limits or boundaries to this awareness. So you might be aware of the town that you're in, the city, the state, the whole planet, and the universe. And just sense and feel this limitless expanse of awareness. And then be aware of your awareness is timeless. That this awareness that you are is the same awareness as when you were a little child. Notice that it feels like it hasn't changed. That you, the you who you are, is the same you you've always been. That's not an illusion, it's the truth. and that you're infinite, boundless, timeless, and whole. That there's nothing you need to do to be a better awareness. You can't. So there's no book you need to read or even podcast you need to listen to that can improve on this essential being that you are. So the you awareness is already whole and complete. You already are enough. You already are perfect. Let this sink in. Feel this infinite, boundless, perfect being of you. And let yourself rest there in that being. Let that perfection and wholeness inform every cell in your body. So every cell in the body has the message that you are whole and perfect and enough. Thank you so much for inviting me on, for the time to be here. I'm just so grateful to connect with all of your listeners, Jean Marie.
Yes, thank you so much. This exercise, this meditation was totally grounding and calming. Can you, Holly, just share with us how people can connect with you to go deeper with you?
Yeah, thank you. So they can go to my website, HeartMind Alchemy, and I do offer one-on-one coaching and biofield tuning or sound tuning sessions. You can also, if you're inspired by the meditations that I've guided you through, I have a channel on the app Insight Timer, which is a free, amazing meditation app, and you can access that through my website. There's a link at the top, meditations, and it'll take you there, and there's 15 or 20 meditations that you can listen to for free. And I do offer weekly guided live meditations as well, so you can tune into those if you follow me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Holly, for being with us today. Nicely done. And thank you so much for those empowering meditations. We hope to have you back.
You're so welcome. I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to send my love and blessings to everybody listening, and to Planet Earth today on Earth Day.
Yes, thank you so much. So go deeper with Holly and connect with her. She's giving you the information to access her website to have more free coaching and her YouTubes and special insights. So thank you so much. Tune in next week for our show, Musicfulness, Mindfulness Using Music and Yoga of Sound with Dr. Igor Ivanik. Visit the blog page of my website for your weekly love practice exercise, www.jeanferrisjourney.com. Much gratitude to the Voice America team for making this show a reality and for shining their love light around the world. You know, an awakened heart glows bright with the light of love that lives within. That's a quote from Rumi. Wake up and live a life of calm, peace, and joy, and come home to yourself. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you live from the Voice America Empowerment Channel. And until we meet again, remember, an empowered self is a loving self, and keep your love light shining. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.